Aloha everyone, this is Chesapeake Movie Thoughts, and yesterday I just saw Black Panther for the second time out at the meetup with the Chesapeake Movie Club. I've also been watching Thor Ragnarok a few times, came out on Blu-ray a couple weeks ago, so I've had a chance to give that a couple more watch-throughs, and Marvel's been on a roll lately, and that and many other reasons is why I am so super excited to see Avengers Infinity War, which is still a month away. I still gotta wait a whole month before I can actually go out and see that. But in the meantime, I'm having some fun with it, with a little speculation. Of course, I'm probably going to be wrong about all of this, but I thought, it's fun to make some predictions, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Just make a few predictions about what we might see in Avengers Infinity War. Now, a lot of people are talking about probably going to see some major character deaths. So it's this huge villain, more powerful than any they've ever faced. What better way to sell that than by killing off some major characters? And yeah, I agree with that. And some people say it's just going to kill everybody. Everybody's going to be dead at the end of the movie. The whole Avengers roster, everybody's going to be dead. I say no. If they do that, then it's a dead giveaway that they're just going to hit the reset button in the next movie, and they're just all going to be back. And you've got a built-in reset button in this movie. The Infinity Gauntlet, once assembled, is like, it grants its wearer godlike powers. It's a built-in reset button. So, yeah, if they go overboard, kill too many characters, it's a dead giveaway that they're just going to bring them all back. And the deaths aren't going to mean anything. Of course, I've said it before, comic book movies, characters can die and come back all the time. But, some deaths they'll let that stay the status quo, that become the new status quo for a while before they'll bring it back. And if we're, it's only those deaths that'll have like some impact. And if we're looking at those, how many they might do, I'd say probably around 4. Probably around 4 characters would get killed off. You start, killing off more characters than that, you start going to think, they're just going to bring them back in the next movie. So, which characters? Well, first of all, one's very easy to predict. Everybody's calling this one. I'm not gonna go out on a limb on this one. I'm gonna agree with everyone. The Vision's probably not gonna make it to the end of this movie because he's got an Infinity Stone in his forehead. It seems like, Thanos would tear that head off to get to that Infinity Stone. So, the Vision's probably not gonna make it. I don't know if he can survive without the Infinity Stone, but even so, I think he would go down fighting to keep that Infinity Stone out of Thanos' hands. And speaking of the Vision and going down fighting, I think that one of the others we might be looking at for not making it through the movie, the Scarlet Witch. I think Wanda, because of her relationship with the Vision, would probably go down, either go down defending the Vision or go down avenging the Vision. So, I think that's another one to look at. A third major character death, which is another one that's very easy to call. I'm not going out on a limb at all on this one. Loki. Loki, because of his history with Thanos, we know that he made a deal with Thanos. Thanos gave him the scepter, which contained... I guess just to warn you, there may be some spoilers for some of the previous Marvel movies popping up here. But Thanos gave Loki the scepter, which we find out later contains the Mind Stone. So Thanos actually had an Infinity Stone, and he gave it to Loki because Loki said he could bring back a second Infinity Stone. Thanos, I don't know what Thanos was thinking. This is Loki. Maybe he didn't know Loki that well, but that was. That means that Loki not only failed to bring back the Space Stone, Tesseract, as he had promised, he also lost him the Mind Stone. So, that seems like Loki would probably be killed off very early in this movie, so that Thanos can make an example out of him. And then the one I'm going to go out on a limb on here, because it seems like there's 4 Avengers characters that are bigger than the others. There's a core 4. That being Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Hulk. And I think maybe you really want to sell Thanos as a villain, maybe you kill off one of those. And looking at the past movies, seems to me that they may be setting up one of those for maybe a redemptive sacrifice, and that being Iron Man. So Iron Man's been making a heck of a lot of really bad mistakes lately. Tony Stark, he created Ultron. He had that vision that he was going to be responsible for destroying the Avengers. He thought it was because he didn't do enough, but that's always Tony's problem. It's not ever that he's not doing enough. It's that he's doing too much of the wrong thing. So, that, and, he turned against Captain America in Civil War. He was a lousy mentor to Spider-Man. Pepper left him, but then apparently came back, which, by the way, I have a theory that she's a Skrull. The Pepper that came back and agreed to marry him in Spider-Man Homecoming, I think, is a Skrull. But we'll get into that later. Yeah, I mean, Tony has been going down a kind of a dark path in recent movies, and it seems like story-wise, character arc-wise, an act of sacrifice to save the rest of the Avengers in Avengers Infinity War may be what they're setting up the character for. So that's my theory on which 4 are going to be killed off in this movie. There's also a lot of talk about the Soul Stone, the last of the Infinity Stones. Where is it? We haven't seen it yet. It's obviously going to have to be covered in this next movie, and I think that may be the point of this movie. Where that Soul Stone is, because, like, say, when we see in the trailers that Thanos has 2 Infinity Stones, the Space Stone, which we know he got from Loki, and the purple one, which is the Power Stone, which is the one we last saw in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So he's got those. We know that the Avengers have 2. Vision has the Mind Stone, and Doctor Strange has the Time Stone. So, kind of evenly matched. I don't know, the Collector presumably still has the Reality Stone, so I don't know how that's going to come into play, but we know where that is. We know where they have to go to get that. But then there's the Soul Stone. Nobody knows where that is. There's theories. One very popular one is that Heimdall has it. I don't really like that theory. I think the major thing that theory has going for it is color. The color of Heimdall's eyes, they glow orange, and the Soul Stone is orange. But, I don't think, based upon the fact that they gave the Reality Stone to the Collector because they didn't want to have 2 Infinity Stones on Asgard at the same time. If they already had 2 Infinity Stones on Asgard and didn't care about that, that seems kind of strange. But I heard another theory recently, and I don't know if there's a whole lot really going around in the movies to set this up, but something sounds right about this theory. And the theory is that the Soul Stone was lost in time, and that in order to get the final piece of the puzzle, to get the Soul Stone, Thanos is going to have to get the Time Stone first. So after getting the Time Stone, let's say that's like the last one he gets in the movie. Like Doctor Strange is the last Avenger he defeats and gets the Time Stone. And then he has to go back in time to get the Soul Stone. And this can explain why it's lost in time, because Thanos is destined to go back in time and take it from the past. And that's why it's lost, because he brought it to the future. And that makes a whole lot of sense to me. Of course, they haven't said anything. They haven't dropped many hints at all about the Soul Stone, but I can definitely see that. And I think that would be an interesting way to go with it. I think it would be interesting to see, like, at the end of the movie, it kind of maybe he gets the Time Stone, but the Avengers find another way to travel through time, or at least those that survive, and they end up traveling through time to try to get the Soul Stone before Thanos, so at least they have 1 Infinity Stone, because if they don't have any, they're doomed, and if he's got the complete Infinity Gauntlet, they're doomed. So, it seems like that could be kind of the point of the movie. A couple of other small predictions. I want to predict that the movie will begin. At first I thought it was going to begin with a big, huge battle on Xandar. Though I've noticed a lot of Marvel movies will begin with a flashback. And since we've seen bits and pieces in the most recent trailer of what has to be a flashback, I think that may be the opening scene of the movie. We've seen scenes where a very young child, Gamora, is interacting with Thanos, and I think that may be our opening scene. So I think that may be our opening scene leading directly into a huge battle on Xandar, in which Thanos ends up getting the Power Stone. So we've seen he has this one already by the time he gets the Space Stone from Loki. So I think that's going to be how the movie opens. So a flashback to Gamora's childhood with Thanos, and then Thanos attacking Xandar with maybe the Guardians coming to try to defend it, in which Thanos gets the Power Stone. And then I was predicting before that this is how the movie's going to end, but I think it's going to end now probably with some of the Avengers dead, the rest captured or incapacitated in some way. So probably not, but I think at the climax of the movie, like right when like the big end battle begins, I think we're finally going to hear Avengers Assemble being uttered in one of these Avengers movies. I think that's, and I think it'll mean a lot, because like after Civil War, with Avengers breaking up, Avengers Assemble, having them all come back together, I think that's going to mean a lot there. So I think that it'll end up having paid off to actually not have snuck that catchphrase into any of the previous Avengers movies. And another thing people are talking about, where is Hawkeye? Hawkeye hasn't been seen in any of the trailers. Jeremy Renner's name isn't on the poster. You know, what gives with Hawkeye? I think that Hawkeye will appear, but like in a cameo. And I think that he's like going to like refuse to help. I think he's going to be like, look, I'm retired. The last time I came out of retirement, I ended up getting arrested and thrown into a supervillain prison. I've got a wife and kids. Sorry, guys, but I'm not getting involved this time. Which means I think maybe then in Avengers 4, if this movie ends with all the Avengers incapacitated, maybe Hawkeye's assembling a new Avengers team to rescue what's left of the old Avengers team. So maybe get like the Avengers going down is what coaxes Hawkeye out of retirement a second time, so that he ends up being a major character in Avengers 4. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna see. Maybe see a cameo from Nick Fury as well. Maybe he'll be helping Hawkeye with the new Avengers team, because he was a key component in assembling the first Avengers. So yeah, I think that may be how the movie's going, and watch me be completely wrong, as I said before. Okay, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see if it's like the movie that I'm imagining, or something completely different but just as awesome. I can't wait. Okay guys, like, comment, subscribe, and that's a wrap.